You know who it is, and you know what time it is. Time to piss off some feminists, trad cucks, and whoever don't want to know the truth. Oh well, let's get started. What is going on, gents? It's RPM here, and a user by the name of Maybe Probably has asked my opinion on the red flag laws. Now, if you don't know what these laws are, essentially, if you are a firearms owner, your family or a quote-unquote concerned citizen can place an anonymous call to law enforcement and say, hey, I'm concerned about such and such. He possesses firearms and he might become a danger to himself. Now, what does that do? It circumvents the Second Amendment and allows the government to come in and take your firearms away. Now, I'm going to say that is systematic disarmament. Now, as a man who in the military was a firearms instructor, I always believe in safe and proper weapons handling. It was burrowed into my brain. I'll never forget it. Now, what I'm about to say is solely my opinion. I have no empirical evidence to back this up. It's just an opinion, therefore open for interpretation. Now, when we look at the system, the powers that be, whoever you want to call them, I'm just going to keep it simple and say the system. What is the end game? The end game is simple: to keep its power. Now, what is the one thing that could actually rise up and resist the current system? Well-informed, well-educated, masculine men. Yes. Now let's look at a term, shall we? Well-regulated militia. Now, when you hear the term militia, what have we been brainwashed into believing? Militias are ultra-right-wing, racist white men. That is the propaganda that has been filtered out to us. It's thrown in our face. Oh, these militias, they're right-wing, they're homegrown terrorists. Actually, no, they're not. But let's look at this from another standpoint. The criminal. The criminal is too unpredictable to form a militia to fight the system, how the system wants it. Now, when you talk about militias versus criminals versus street gangs, you have a bit of organization. However, the end game is completely different. When you have militia groups, what do they usually consist of? Men who come from nuclear families. Men who actually understand, men who are intelligent. Therefore, the law-abiding citizen can, if need be, form up into a well-regulated militia and possibly fight the system. The criminal, however, even though they're armed to the teeth, their view is too short-sighted. Yes, it is. They're not concerned with fighting the system. They're only concerned with, I'm just trying to get mine. That's it. So, gentlemen, odds are this whole systematic disarmament, that's all part of the plan. The grand plan, if you will. Now, I did a video on the APA report talking about masculinity as being harmful. What does that signal? That also circumvents the Second Amendment. Why? Because we don't want mentally ill people to have firearms. Now, I'm also going to talk about something else that ties into this. Why is the AR-15 platform so demonized? Well, once again, I'm going to bring my weapons knowledge into this. The AR-15 is the civilian equivalent to the M4, which is the standard military firearm. However, the AR-15 also represents an equalizer between civilian, police, and military. Yes, if the cops come and the individual is armed with an AR, he can match their firepower. So, that, in my opinion, is why the AR platform is so demonized. Everybody's talking about we have to get rid of this. We have to get rid of, quote unquote, high capacity magazines. Actually, there is no high capacity magazine. There are standard magazines which hold 30 rounds. Those are standard magazines. High cap magazines are usually drum mags, and those aren't readily available. However, we all know that there are going to be people who are going to modify their weapons. Hey, it is what it is. It's that person's prerogative. If they're doing it within the confines of the written law, then go for it. But we all know that a lot of criminals modify their weapons illegally. I'm pretty much against that. But the ultimate goal has always been for the powerful to keep their power. For the citizenry, the average citizen, to be kept dumb and stupid. Now, let's look at this from another angle. Why is toxic masculinity such a thing? Let's just call this what this truly is. They want men to be emasculated. They want men to be effeminized. Why? Because, as I stated before, masculine men with masculine qualities will question the system, and they will get together and they will rise up. Do you honestly think criminals and soy boys are going to fight the system? Nope, they're not. If you look at the average male of today, they are not even physically fit to join the military. Once again, that's all part of the plan. If these guys aren't battle ready, then guess what? They will not rise up. They won't. Now notice I keep harping on part of the grand plan, because that's all this is. I'm looking at this from an extraordinarily wide angle. Everything that has been done has been planned out. However, the one monkey wrench that was thrown into this whole thing was the red pill. I don't think the powers that be counted on men waking up and realizing this is a fucked up situation, so we're going to just go our own way. They weren't planning on that. Why do you think women are in such a fucking tizzy nowadays? As more men walk off that plantation, they're saying, yeah, fuck this, y'all can have it. And with that being said, gentlemen, feminism is in fact a tool of the patriarchy. Now, what do I mean by the patriarchy? I mean the true patriarchy. The system, the 1%ers, the elites, whatever you want to call them. That's the real patriarchy. But you can't get women to understand that. They've been brainwashed into believing that the rank and file man also has the same privileges as the men of the elite. Yeah, right, bullshit. But With that being said, gentlemen, come to your own conclusion. Formulate your own idea. That's just my opinion on what is going on in today's society. But if you have a different opinion, please let it be known in the comment section. Well, let me know what you guys think about this whole system of systematic disarmament. And remember, gents, when the power goes out, feminism will go out right along with it. That's all I got to say for this one. RPM, I am